There's always this thrill we all have when a new iOS is about to be released. This is why we are eager to try our hands on iOS 16. Even though it is yet to be released, the iOS 16 beta offers some best iPhone features that allow users to customize their wallpapers, FaceTime friends and families that use Android and Windows phones, and even more specific Siri features. We know you can't wait to have it. But how do you download it? Don't worry. This video will walk you through an easy step-by-step process to download the iOS 16 beta. Don't blink. iOS 16. On June 6, 2022, at the annual WWDC conference, Apple announced the release of iOS 16 later in the year. However, a beta version is available for developers and the general public. The iOS 16 public beta was released on July 11, 2022. With the iOS 16, users can unsend and edit text messages, FaceTime Android and Windows users, and even a more advanced mapping feature. These are just a few of Apple's tips and tricks you can do with iOS 16. Craig Federighi, Apple's Vice President of Software Engineering, talks about how iOS 16 improves the Map app.
Excited to announce that later this year, we'll bring the new map to 11 more. Our new map includes great features like cycling, look around, and so many more. And with the new city experience, we pushed it even further with unprecedented detail.
Like several other curious users, you might be eager to try out the iOS 16 betas. Note that the iOS 16 beta comes in two types: the iOS 16 Developer Beta and the iOS 16 Public Beta. You might be wondering which of these offers a better user experience and is better to download. We answer that question later in the video, so keep watching. Next, we talk about how to install the iOS 16 Developer Beta. How to install the iOS 16 Developer Beta. The iOS 16 Developer Beta is designed to help developers improve the downsides of the operating system. The first version of the iOS 16 Developer Beta was released on 6 June 2022, right after the WWDC conference, while the current version, iOS 16 Beta 4, was released on 27 July 2022. Installing the iOS 16 Developer Beta is quite easy. To begin, open your Safari and type betaprofiles.com. On the page, locate iOS 16 Download, and then click on Install to download. This won't take long to download. Now let's head back to the Settings page to do the main download. In the Settings app, tap More for your iPhone and View Profile. Now tap on Install, and then enter your passcode to install it. A notification will ask you to restart your phone. Go ahead and restart. After your phone restarts, open your Settings, General, and then Software Update. Over here, you would be prompted to download and install the iOS 16 Developer Beta. Again, go ahead and download. After completing the download, you will be prompted to install. After this, your phone will restart once again. After the restart, you should see a notification that the software update has been completed to iOS 16. Tap on Continue, and then set up your phone. That's it. Your iOS 16 Developer Beta is installed. Go ahead and enjoy the new features.
Excited.
Before the excitement of your new iOS 16 developer, beta features carry you away. Hit the subscribe button to watch more iOS-related videos. Continuing, note that because the iOS 16 beta is still being developed, users will face some bugs such as poor battery life, app crashes, FaceTime problems, etc. Therefore, it is advisable to install the iOS 16 beta on your spare compatible iOS device, or better still, install the public beta version. This is because it fixes some of the developer beta version problems, which is why it is released weeks after the developer version is released. But to what extent does the public beta address such problems? We talk about that later in the video. Make sure to stay tuned. We discussed installing the iOS 16 public beta, but before that, you'll have to back up your device. Backing up your iPhone. It is important to make sure your device is backed up before you install the iOS 16 beta. This secures all your important data and is very simple to do. Open your Settings, tap on General, iCloud, iCloud Backup, and then Backup Now. This would back up your data and settings so that you wouldn't miss any information if you later downgrade to iOS 15. Now let's install the iOS 16 public beta. Installing the iOS 16 public beta. To download the public beta, you must delete the developer beta if you already have it installed. This is a quick process to remove it. Open Settings, go to General, and then to VPN and Device Management. You will see your iOS 16 developer profile on the lower screen. Tap on Remove Profile, and then enter your passcode. If you don't have the developer profile, however, you can proceed with downloading the public beta. To do this, open your browser and enter beta.apple.com. You'll then have to sign in with your Apple ID. Under Get Started, click on Enroll your iOS device. Now under Install Profile, click on Download Profile. Now that we have downloaded the iOS 16 beta profile, let's head to our main settings page. Locate and tap on Profile Downloaded. Click on Install, and then enter your passcode. After this, there will be a notification to restart your phone. After restarting your device, head back to the setting page. We like visiting the settings page, don't we? That was just on a lighter note. Now click on General and then Software Update. You should see iOS 16 Developer Beta on your screen. At the lower part of the screen, click on Download and Install. When downloaded, click on Install. You will see a notification alerting you your phone has been updated to iOS 16. That's it, you're done. Your iOS 16 beta is installed.
I'm glad.
However, although the public beta solves some problems, such as crushing some banking apps and improving battery health, it still doesn't solve all the bug issues. It is still in the development stage, and bugs are bound to happen. So which of these two betas is better to download? Well, you'll be in a better position to answer that. Apple Developers' official website states that the Apple Developer Program annual fee is $99, which will make you among the first users to have a feel of new developer betas before they're made available to the general public. The public beta, however, solves some of the developer beta bugs. So the choice is yours. Which of them do you prefer? Let us know in the comments section. So, if for any reason you'll want to be amongst the first people to test the iOS 16 beta, the developer beta is the right one for you. If not, it's advisable to go for the public beta since it solves most of the bug issues that the developer beta does not solve. Enjoy your new iOS 16 beta features, and see you next time!